I just couldn't understand why I wasn't enough, why he didn't love me enough. Today, our life is completely different. You see that your husband is willing to make the commitment to do this program, stick by their side because it's worth it. I see the freedom inside of him, I see the peace inside of him.
Hey everyone, I have here Tyro. This brother came from the implementation program and he has his lovely wife here, Ashley. And she's willing to tell her side of how, as a result of Tyro rebooting and rewiring his brain, how also it affected her. Tyro and Ashley, thank you for giving us the opportunity to hear your side. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you take it when Tyro here decided to join this program?
When Tyro decided to join this program, our relationship was pretty broken. We were at like the last straw and I was ready to give up. I actually was thinking about it before we got on here about how exactly 2 years ago I was sitting at the same table and we were meeting with one of the reboot trainers for
Mhm.
the strategist to meet with Tyro to talk to him about the program. And I just remember crying, just crying uncontrollably and just telling him it's not going to work because we had tried so many different things. So when he decided he was going to be in this program, I was hopeful, but I wasn't sold for sure.
All right, no, thank you for sharing. So having him join the program, how did it make you feel like every time you found out that your husband were relapsed, just starting out the program, no one's perfect, but how did you take it when he was just relapsing?
Before he joined the program or after he joined the program?
Let's start with before, yeah, before he joined the program.
Before it was very painful. I just couldn't understand why I wasn't enough, why he didn't love me enough. I was just angry, just very angry.
And Tyro, how did we think we get away with these things, right? But looking back now, how did you know, like, man, I was off emotionally? How did you feel when you were just relapsing before?
I was very sad. I was mad with myself very much.
Thank you for sharing, brother. And so, actually, what significant changes have you seen your husband here since joining the program and coming off it? What changes have you seen from him?
I would just say that today our life is completely different. There was no trust in our relationship before. Like I said, I was angry at him all the time. I was always constantly like looking through stuff to find where he had been looking at stuff on the internet or whatever it was. And I had no peace. There was no peace in our home. And I would say today it's completely different. I mean, we still have our ups and downs, of course, every married couple does, but just our intimacy level, just the way he opens up to me and everything is different. Everything is different. I mean, it took time. It definitely took time to get to this place, but it's
Mhm.
a lot better than it was 2 years ago. A lot better.
That Nice. And when did you start noticing these changes? Was it early on? Was it like, do you remember a specific instance where you're like, you know what, he is a little different now?
Yeah, I mean, I would say within the first couple of months, I saw him changing, definitely doing things different, but I did see him struggling. And I would try to get him to talk to me about it. And he was like, I can't talk to you about this. And I'm kind of glad that he didn't because every time we would talk about it, I would get angry and I would get upset. And I'm really glad that he had like a group of men that could understand what he was going through. I think that made all the difference because, like I said before, he had tried other ways to stop this behavior, with individual counseling and just using coping skills and it just never worked for him. This group of men is what helped him.
Yes. No, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, and we we do tell the brothers like your wife is not your accountability partner. And she knows you're in the program and knows that you're gonna struggle, but hey, keeping that between like men like that are going through the same pain and knowing you trust, right? So that trust has to come in. And so how did you feel like trusting like, man, is it real this time, right? Is it real or not? And but yeah, showing those changes emotionally, you do feel those things, right? In a different way. Like, whoa, it's actually not just lip service, but the way he shows up is very different. So I appreciate you sharing that insight. So what would you say you're most proud of your husband now? What is that thing?
Um, what I would say I'm most proud of my husband for is just really committing to our marriage, committing to this process, committing to his recovery. I mean, he works really, even 2 years into this process, he still works diligently on his recovery. He gets up every morning and reads and does his prayer meditation. And he continues to stay committed, even though it would be easy for him to just not, for him to go back to some of his old behaviors.
And yeah, that is the habits and then the lifestyle, then self-image part. So that's really good. I'm glad that you've seen those things. And you, Tyra, how do you feel, man? How do you feel hearing these things from your wife here?
I'm very proud of myself and happy.
Hell yeah, man. And like I told your husband here, I seen the change, his willingness and openness, and just like I know he has a big heart, but he walled it off before. But now seeing that it's like a different person here. And that's the beautiful part about like working on yourself. And I know he has influenced you perhaps in a way. And what did you pick up from him if that happened? Did you learn something from like the process of Tyro here rebooting?
Yeah, I did. So I learned patience. I learned a lot of patience because I'm in recovery too. And so I would say things to him like, it's just a decision. You just have to make a decision, you know? And I know in my own recovery that wasn't the truth, but I wanted him so bad to just be okay. So I just had to learn. And he would say to me all the time, "This is my recovery. I have to do my recovery." And so I learned that I need to be patient with him and allow him to do it his way. And it has paid off. It definitely has paid off with all the changes that he's made.
Nice, I love that. And man, Tari, how you feeling, man? Hearing all these things, man.
Yeah, that's amazing, man.
Yeah. And there you go, brother. Like I said, right? Not to sound like a broken record, you did amazing, bro. And but it was hard work, right, Tyro? I know it wasn't easy. And I'm sure now you have that like willingness to help. And that's good. And I see that in you. And so Utah, what would you say to someone that's like married here? Like they're listening to this, you know what? I was emotionally shut off. I didn't want people to help me because I thought I could still do it on my own. And prideful, right? So what would you tell that husband that's struggling right now?
I just telling this is a lie on the dark. It's always way to broken this addiction.
Okay. How about you, Ashley? What are some words of encouragement like for wives who feel hopeless and lost?
That's a hard one. I mean, that really is a hard one because
Yeah.
everybody, they have their own breaking points. And I've told Tyro many times, like, I don't know if I could go through this again because it is so painful. But I mean, if you see that your husband is willing to make the commitment, do this program, stick by their side because it's worth it. Me and Tyro have been together for 7 years, and five of that was him struggling with this addiction, but I didn't really realize how bad it was till, later on. And I'm so grateful that I did stay by his side because now that he has worked through all this stuff, we have an amazing relationship and an amazing marriage. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I wouldn't have traded him back then, but all I wanted was peace. And now we have peace. So
Wow. All right. So that those blood, sweat, and tears, you pay the price and you got peace, right? Which is worth it. And no, thank you for sharing that, Ashley. And all right. Any last words, Tyra, for you? Like just for people who are listening, what's on your mind right now?
Everything is amazing how this program do for me. I mean,
Mm.
I was thinking I never be in this behavior, and when I'm coming here, my life changed completely.
All right. No, brother, thank you for sharing. And you did amazing. I know I keep saying that, right? I feel like I'm, kissing ass to you, but I really mean it. And look, as a result, like and we start with this behavior as a selfish one. And now it's funny how we end up wanting to do it for ourselves, which is like, it is in a way a selfish thing when we start off this program, but we're doing it for the best interest of everyone, right? In this case, it was for you, Ashley, and the people around them. And it's a good energy to have when someone does overcome something as difficult as addiction, because it is a really hard one to overcome. And just maintaining the habits and the support system and doing the things that keep working is what it's gonna keep you there. And it's no secret, honestly. It is simple process, but it goes obviously deep, right? Where you have to deal with your trauma, you have to deal with the partner's betrayal, right? If there was any. So it's worth it at the end. I feel like the suffering that one goes through it's a necessary in life, right? Everyone suffers, but what we decide to do, the choice and our decisions that we make is important too. So I'm glad you put trust in the system, Tyro, and as well as you, Ashley. Thank you for trusting your husband too, and let him, try something different, and it paid off. So I appreciate your openness as well. And that is it. Unless there's anything else that you want to share, Ashley, the floor is for you, man.
no, I mean, the only thing that I would say, I know Tyra is like really shy when he gets
Yeah.
like on this kind of stuff. And I know that he has voiced to me many times, like, I was miserable. I
Mhm.
was miserable. I hated myself. I hated everything, and now that he has gone through this recovery process, he tells me all the time, like, I feel free, I feel light, I feel happy, I can enjoy my life without, you know, having to lie and cover things up all the time. So I know that he has told me that before. So I know he has gained that from this program, and I see it in him too. You know, I see the freedom inside of him. I see the peace inside of him.
Wow. No, thank you. I know Tyler's being a little shy. That's why I'm picking on him. He gets chatty when we talk, right? But hey, I get it. And no, I appreciate you sharing that. That's beautiful words, right? And you just have to experience it. And you can only, someone listening, we could just give it lip service, but until you actually do this work, it does really change your life. You do see the freedom. And I say that's the best feeling. Like not hiding anything. You can literally like, hey, no shame. I think that's what I heard too, right? There's no shame. And like, I went through this behavior and now I sought the help and no one killed you, right? Your brain would think like, oh, if you show this shadow side of yourself, people are going to stone you, people will leave you. And that's not the case. We actually here a very loving community in the Facebook. And of course, myself here, I've gone through pain and I understand. Like I have the heart for people that are suffering and that it's never too late. And that's especially for those who are married in this case, right? For you, Ashley, I always like, hey, I always keep everyone's heart and interest because when one heals, I feel like everyone heals too. So to a certain degree, right? If they do the work as well.
Yeah.
But no, thank you. I appreciate your guys' time. And for those of you listening, thank you. And look forward to more of these interviews with married couples. As you can see, these are real people with real issues that overcame their struggles. And hey, the results speak for themselves. So thank you, Ashley and Tyro.